Hey there, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. Everybody knows what time it is. It is time for Syntext Live. I hope everybody is doing good tonight. I see a few people already watching, a few people already in the chat. So let's pop a top tonight and let's get things going. Got to save my bottle caps for the upcoming, World War whatever, so I can trade them, for. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys have played Fallout before. All right. A few things on the docket tonight. Got a pretty full list right here. Going to be going down them. If at any time you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or just want to chit chat, feel free to drop it in the box and I will get to it after we get through this area. So first things first, the one that just dropped, or the series that just finished, Hunter or Hunted. Hopefully I didn't go too much on the dirty jokes. I know I kind of touched on it last week, but the series wrapped up, tied a nice little bow on it, but that bow has some extra strings I can pull if we want to keep going. And somebody remind me how the aliens called the taints got ripped a new butthole. Oh, so yeah, I didn't think that was going to be so obvious a joke, but apparently you guys like it. So again, if you think I'm going a little too far with the jokes, let me know and I'll ease off. Also, somebody brought up the audio issue I had on, I believe it was Thursday, that just happened, where it cut out the last 2 minutes. I swear, guys, I went through it like 5 or 6 times and it's complete on the recording. I don't know why it didn't transfer over, but sure as shit, it didn't transfer over. So I was not fishing for views. You guys know I don't do that. Okay. I want to give you a quality product. I don't need you sitting there pulling I'm not going to pull a Halo 2 on you. Okay. Where people kind of tease you, and all of a sudden they go finishing this fight. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, now we got to wait 18 months for the next game. I'm not doing that. Apparently nobody in the comment section caught the old school reference when it came to, the phrase ballsy, stupid, but ballsy. That was off the movie True Lies. And that one, it just kind of clicked in me. I'm like, that would fit perfect here. So in case you were wondering, yes, that was a movie reference. If you were like, I've heard that somewhere, but where have I heard it before? Yep, it was right in the beginning of the movie. So I've used it plenty of times, and you'd be surprised how often ballsy, stupid, but ballsy actually works. It's surprising. Let's see. I did have one in the comment section. Guys, if you know somebody is putting something in the comment section, make sure it's clear so I know what it's about. I've got like 550 different videos. Even if you're commenting during one of these live ones or on a video, if you're trying to make a comment, make it clear. The only thing I got was too much for me. That was the entire comment, and I was freaking lost. Okay. If you guys want to start a chat war inside my comment section, be my guest. I could use the traffic. But if somebody puts out just some random comment, by all means, have them clarify that shit, because I'm going to do it anyway. It'd just be great if you guys could too. All right. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion. I do apologize for not explaining it well enough during the the flying bricks story. The grapplers that were used, the reason he couldn't cut through them from his own ship is because they were designed specifically to short out the device he was using, at least the grappling feet. The wires themselves are coated specifically to stop any type of energy, and that's what he was using. He was using a monomolecular cutter, which is an actual thing, by the way. The engines they got to put that thing up to for it to work is insane. That thing pumps out. It needs a lot of juice to operate. It's crazy. That being said, it's basically a laser scalpel you can hold, and it's incredibly accurate. Thing is, it will sear any skin it's touching. So basically, it's a micro laser sword, from that other series we don't talk about unless we're making fun of it. And the reason I use magnetic grapplers instead of harpoons again, hard science fiction, because if you're trying to capture who's inside, you don't want to punch holes into a ship and vent all the atmosphere. Where's the person we're trying to kidnap? They're over there doing this. It doesn't quite work. And the reason I didn't use the tractor beams, because tractor beams, as soon as anybody does any forethought, they don't work. As soon as you have some sort of, if you use a tractor beam that's magnetic, they give it a reverse charge. Basically, if you're hitting it with a solid northbound charge, they hit you in the northbound and it immediately will launch itself away from each other. It just wouldn't work. If you're using some sort of any other energy, you just simply have to short out the system, which is not all that hard to do. Hell, they can even do it now. They've been experimenting with those for a long time, and they never work. Every single time I come across a story of them, and when I say them, I mean like DARPA and those fuckers. And yes, they are fuckers because they like to hide some of the best stuff out there. Tractor beams just don't work. You literally could short it out by hooking up a battery with the wrong poles. It's crazy. All right. I do have to admit, you guys were really quick to get the line, for a brick, he flew pretty good. You guys were really quick in the comments to get that one. And I'll tell you what, ever since I put the title, Flying Bricks, I've wanted to do that line in one of the stories. Oh my God, it was like chewing on friggin' barbed wire that I couldn't use that line, and I finally got to use it. I just happened to line it up just right, and it worked. So I appreciate you guys, going in the comment section, putting on that and telling me what works and what doesn't. I do appreciate that, because I'm going to start changing things up a little bit. And speaking of changing things up, it's right here next on my list, was the bittersweet ending that Bricks had. Now, the thing is, I did have a lot of you guys say how it was too many of these guys are hooking up with these alien females, and magically their spunk is able to impregnate them, even though that shouldn't work. And you're right. It's, if you're working with a different species, it's just like a human can't impregnate an ape. Even if you can, the chances of viability all the way to term is so low, it's sickening. So again, I just wanted to hit that, even if I only hit it once. And I know a few people in the comment section said it was kind of a little sad. It wasn't the hunky-dory story that everybody likes so much. However, there was a reason for that. There was a reason I wanted to put that in, is because bittersweet endings sometimes make better stories. You don't want to do them all the time, obviously, so don't get used to it. But they will happen. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Somebody sneezing on the other side of the wall. Anyways, now the best show I can see of bittersweet endings was the old Batman animated series. For those of you who don't remember that, that is still noted as the best animated series ever. And that came out in the, I think, early to mid 90s. I mean, it's old, but it's really good. And even when they brought it back, they really did a good job. There's actually some episodes there that were so brain twistingly, soul suckingly, ball punchingly in your face that they can't show them anymore. You don't believe me? You can write this down. There's an episode called Growing Pains. By the way, I will say that it's gonna fuck your world up if you watch that. Now, spoiler alert, only slightly, not quite. The character that is brought in that episode, I actually used when I created my own DC character. And yes, I have my own DC character that I created. I have not sold it to DC. I think I put it on Reddit just to kind of save my ass. And I did a poor man's copyright just in case they wanted to play fuck around. And I can say, I can fuck around too, pal, but I play to win. So if you don't know poor man's copyright, that's where you print it out and you mail it to yourself. And as long as it's not open and it has the stamp on it, that's a poor man's copyright. However, we can get into that later. If you guys want me to explain how that one goes, I will. But with that one, just like the difference with live out of spite, how humans taught them how to live out of spite. If nothing else, that's just, if someone's trying to make you off yourself, fuck you, I'm going to survive anyway. That's living out of spite. And you know what? Revenge is revenge is revenge, which way you do it. Now, I do need to know if that was good or bad. If you guys like that way I was doing it, you want more of that, you want less of that, you want me to go back to whatever, it is up to you guys. That is the point of the live stream once a week, so that everybody can come in. You can put your comments in the comment section box over here, or the text box during the stream. If you're here afterwards and you're listening later, by all means, in the comment section down there at the, where are you looking? You meat gazer? No, okay. All right. On to one of the stories. Now, this is making the rounds, folks, and you were all correct. You were all amazingly correct. Stellar Blade. Holy flying donkey turds. Is that just making the rounds? Wow. They're just getting hammered from all sides. I don't want them to do this bad. Stellar Blade looks like a really good game. They sent out the demo to a bunch of these young female gamers. Obviously, they're over in other countries, because most female gamers over here are not actually gamers. They're just, standing there in little bitty skimpy things and then people are complaining about the character on the screen. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, these girls who could actually play, they thought it was a really fun game. They didn't give a shit about the girl being in the skimpy outfit. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to look at. However, it's not why people buy the game. It might help sell the game, but you were all correct in the fact that those that are complaining, those in the games area, those who might be of an incorporated baby that might be sweet. Yes, do that backwards. You know what I'm talking about. And they hate pretty women. They hate them. They hate them. They hate them. It's driving me absolutely nuts. This is why I pretty much stopped playing a lot of video games, because there's no good ones. And when a good one's about to come out, these woke assholes get a hold of it and they screw things up. You look, I mean, seriously, there are videos out there. I think, not It's a Gundam. There's a few others. They did videos. They showed the voice actress. She is pretty. Then they show the character she's based off of. And I'm like, I cannot drink that up to a 4. I don't care. There's not enough blindfolds, little blue pills on this planet. It ain't going to happen. Oh, yeah. I see that their SS Demon, the # free Stellar Blade. Everybody wants that game to be good because they're tired of woke crap. And now they kind of bent over the ones who actually have the games. Oh, we're going to censor it over. Fuck you. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, my brain hurts. Oh, you know what's going to happen if they keep this up? They're going to go woke, and we all know what happens after that. They go baroque. I mean, it's already sunk how many being associated with that incorporated that has sunk games and entire studios before it even got out there. So you're spending money and getting absolutely dick in return. Although then again, if some of these people that are bitching would get some dick, then maybe they wouldn't complain. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of people don't want to say it, but seriously, some of these folks just need to go out and get laid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the whole idea of you're not a man unless you've, got to that point, I think that's one of the stupidest things we got going. But it is what it is. It's our society nowadays. I can't change it except unless I'm sitting here bitching and moaning on the internet. And you know how it is, somebody sitting there probably going, good. Let the hate flow through you. Yeah, believe me, the hate flowing through me enough. So, sorry, I had some Big Y fried fish for dinner, and I am so thirsty. It's driving me crazy. Now, I'll speak up louder so you guys can hear me on the microphone, but I got to step away for a second here because something actually came in. Something actually showed up, folks. Something's here. Bing. Okay, they're here. The t-shirts are here. However, yeah, that's what they look like, folks, on the back end. And everybody knows that that series, The Ultimate Ambush Predator. And yes, I got mediums all the way through double X large. That being said, do not yet put your address anywhere here, okay? Like I said, we got to hit 9,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 8,700. So it is up to you guys to actually spread it around to let folks know, hey, it's going to be a giveaway, but I need the subscriber count because we know what happens when it gets over 9,000. And yep, there we go. So for those of you who think I was bullshitting you and saying, oh, he's not going to get the t-shirts, you can lick my left nut. I got the fucking t-shirts. So it's in. It's in. Sorry, I'm starting to speak infantry now because some of the stuff is starting to piss me off. I mean, it stuff is pissing me off more than the god-awful portrayal of Ahsoka in the Star Wars because she was one of the best characters and they fucked that up so bad. They screwed over the Mandalorian. It was started good and then it went woke and now it's total shit. And I was just Oh my god. I mean, come on. These idiots out there even screwed up something like Masters of the Air. I wanted to watch that show. I was getting ready to binge watch the whole thing once it all came out, and then I saw what happened halfway through the series. They went away from it's supposed to be about the bombers, all about the bombers, all of what they have to go through, all what the 8th Air Force had to go through. And then they switch it over to some fighters for like 2 episodes. Some fighter pilots. No, motherfucker. If I was watching Band of Brothers, do you think I'd give a flying fuck nugget about the freaking tankers? No, I want to watch the airborne guys. Stick to that, you stupid bastards. And there's they were the Tuskegee. Well, what about all the other pilots who friggin' got more medals and went on more missions? Don't they deserve anything? So friggin' kiss my ass. They have something great. And especially right towards the end, they're fucking this up by the numbers. Oh, I mean, this is, remember what folks used to say, the old-fashioned anime ending, where it didn't matter whatever happened, everybody's going to live happy ever after, because everyone's going to grab the dragons by the balls, and they're going to wish everybody back to life or something. It's just like, you freaking cocksockets. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oy, okay. Okay, gotta breathe. Okay, I'm back. It's just, I know some of you guys just want to see me get spun up, and you're getting your money's worth this time. But it's just driving me crazy. I'd like good video games to come out, even though I don't have time to play them. I mean, I got my gaming computer sitting like 6 feet away from me, and I've had the career of BattleTech on there for like 6 months, and out of the 1,200 days, I think I'm down 1,000, and most of that's been in transit. That's the most I've gotten to play it. Today I was, escorting my dad around, and then I had to go pay my bills because it's the first of the month, and I know Rage isn't here yet, War Sniper. I know he's not here, but don't worry. I have enough rage for everyone. Okay. And we all know us humans, we tend to rage out a lot. And I guess that was actually one of the things I wanted to show on sorry. God dang it. I'm sorry. I just had a brain fart. I'm so mad. The Live Out of Spite episode. And because that was actually taken straight out of what I seen in life. I've seen that sort of thing happen multiple times, where you have to actually get somebody to help you out, because if you don't, well, believe it or not, the entire story was inspired by a song. And I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let you guys see if you can put it. You can put in the chat if you know which song that one inspired. I'll give you a hint. Think of the very first line that came in that series, or sorry, in that story. And if you know your slightly old school songs, you're going to know exactly which one it is. So, anyway, they're also talking about trying to change Helldivers. Good fucking luck. That has too many people that will crash the entire server before they let them screw that up. You guys out there who play it, you guys have friggin' done awesome to make sure that one doesn't get screwed up. You know, like Warhammer. What in the ever? I'm not even a Warhammer 40K fan. Okay. If you lose consistency in your story, you lose everybody who wants to play. And this is a multi-billion-dollar series that they're using right now, and they're screwing this up. Why? Because we have to be inclusive. Well, you already were inclusive. It was called the Sisters of Battle, you stupid fucker. I'm not even a fan, and I know about that. How do I know? I did some research, and I made a 40K freaking story on my channel. It sucked, but I made the story anyway. I mean, just, and now they're like, oh no, we have to swap all the Space Marines, and we have to make them all, I don't know, cut all their balls off and something and give them a set of chesticles, because that's the only way they're allowed to. It's like Star Wars all over again, where you have to have fallopian-based force powers. Seriously, what the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Just stick with the fucking lore. You lost Henry Cavill. He was going to draw you in hundreds of millions of dollars. And what did you do? You fucked up by the numbers. You pissed him off just like you did with The Witcher. That thing was pulling in money like fucking crazy. And here you go screwing that up so fucking bad that he did the fuck. And then he was out. He was that first chance he got. He was gone out of there like somebody had lit his pants on fire. It was just crazy. Holy shit. And, you know, let's face it, the thing is, he's falling prey to the Superman curse. And this kind of sucks for him, but at least he can still walk. For those out here who don't know about the Superman curse, because most of you are too young to remember them. Okay, the very first Superman came out in a black and white show, and then the movies. Like one or two of them committed suicide. One of them fell off a horse and broke his neck, and he died very slow as his entire cardiovascular system failed on him. Multiple divorces and stuff like that go around. It was just bad. It was bad. It for a long time, nobody wanted to play Superman, and I can't say I blame them. I really can't if it's that bad. But it just, you finally got somebody who plays the part, looks the part, does it well, and you're pissing them off. That's like pissing off Hugh Jackman so he never plays Wolverine again. Oh, wait, they did that. I'm like, I know Hugh Jackman wanted to do other stuff, but seriously, they would have chucked money at him for days to play that, but they pissed him off. And now Ryan Reynolds had to basically drag him back by his friggin' short hairs to get him in there, and they were apparently laughing through the whole thing, and even Hugh Jackman helped him write the jokes. But I mean, you know, Disney's going to screw that up enough. Thankfully, they have ways around it. These guys are excellent. They're well, one's a comic, so I mean, it's his job to make a joke out of the worst things. Although, I kind of wish one comedian was back because he would tear everyone apart. If George Carlin was still kicking, he would have a fucking field day. Oh man, holy crap, holy crap. It's just, it is what it is. For those of you who don't know George Carlin, I do recommend you look him up. And if you don't laugh, you are dead inside. Pure and simple. There's nothing behind the mask. So, yeah, I don't know why they're going after this. It's bad enough they hate redheads in comics. They race swap all of those or kill them off. Period. They curvature all the women nowadays. I'm like, seriously, if I have to look at another man, I'm that's drawn, and I go, I can see the Adam's apple in that drawing. And if I look lower, I can see a different bulge. What the fuck? This is supposed to be a female, dressed like one too. If I want to see a guy dressed as a female superhero, I'll go back to fucking Comic-Con. Okay. By the way, that went from one of the greatest things I ever seen to something I kind of wish I could bleach out of my memory, because I saw a woman in a Wonder Woman costume. She wasn't built forward on the chest area, but she was tall. She had just enough width on the shoulders. She's pretty. She just fit the costume. Not 5 minutes later, there's an old, fat, hairy dude in a Wonder Woman costume, and I'm just sitting there going, ah, ah. I don't care if you like the character or not. There are certain things you just don't do. And that's one of them, because just gross. I'm sorry. You call me an istophobic all the time if you want. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'm too old, too tired, and lack giving a shit. My fuck tank is over there. I'm reaching out. Do I got any left? Nope. No fucks to give. Sorry. I'm done. So, just can they just leave what's coming into the country as far as media alone? No, they can't. For one simple reason. They want us to consume only what they create over in Hollywood. Most of what they do, I've canceled my Netflix, and I'm glad I did, because they have not produced anything good in a long time. I think the last good thing they produced was the first season of Love, Death, and Robots, which if you haven't seen, I recommend it. It's going to fuck with your brain. It's going to fuck with your heart. But it was really good. The second one blows ass nuggets. It was horrible. It was, they're literally taking stories from the first one, putting in the second one, so there's actually something good in the second series or second season. Seriously, if your ability to build a story is that weak, you shouldn't be making one. I'm just glad I'm able to do it, and I'm able to make you guys some decent content, so you can listen and not be sitting there going, oh, this is just typical woke crap, because we don't do woke here. We don't do woke. We don't do AI. So, yeah. Oh, just, Okay. Deep breaths. Yeah, it sounds like I'm in Lamaze. All right. Let me check my notes here before I go on. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Unfortunately, I've been really busy all day, so unfortunately, nothing's going to drop tonight. I have it mostly written out. Where'd I put it? It's over there. I got one that's just about done. It's a little existential. It's a little kind of twist from the norm. But my worry, my big concern when making you guys content is I don't want to constantly overlap. That's been something you guys have brought up, and I have taken it to heart. Is I don't need all my stuff sounding like it's in the exact same universe. As I mentioned last week, that is the problem with hard science fiction, is there's very little deviation. Okay, it'd be nice if I could use a tractor beam and a teleportation and some funky energy weapons that can go to stun, and a magic MacGuffin somewhere that's just going to make everything happy. And here we run around in bleach white ships that never get dirty. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy, and makes me never want to watch any science fiction show, because every single one, especially once they actually travel in space, does the exact motherfucking thing. They turn into Trek. Every single one. I'll give you the perfect example. Fucking Stargate. They had a good premise right there to go with. Even though the only reason I watch this show is because the actors did such a good job. My hat's off to them because they did a good job. But as soon as they started getting ships and they used actual weapons, missiles, nukes, the railguns they use kind of suck ass, but they used actual weapons you would actually use. They used a type of heat laser for a while that kind of sort of sucked, but they used actual hard science weapons. Then what did they do? Oh, look, The Azzy guards, they're the grays. We're going to get some new weapons that, oh no, they don't work exactly like a phaser does or a phase cannon. Oh no. Oh, we have energy shields now. So instead of actually using the CGI model that we have to show actual damage, we can just say shields down to such and such percent, shields down to this other percent. These aft shields are holding yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. As they flash a couple lights, it turned into Trek. That's not what people want to see. They want to see a different series, you piece of shit. Ah. But I digress. Let's go into the comment section. Let me scroll up to the top here. We got folks chiming in saying, hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing, everybody out there? The most deadly ship in the world is the first one to come in. That would be the SS Demon. Yep, War Sniper talking about the Halo reference. Yep, I'm glad you got it. There's that pound-free Stellar Blade. That sounds wrong. And yes, I always say that, folks. When it comes to an actual pound sign, unless I want to say that's tic-tac-toe, I say pound sign because on the phones when I grew up, it was the actual motherfucking pound sign. So that's what I'll do. Okay. Let's see. Grog says, Sin, I showed up, but I promise I won't break anything. Y'all legs, pokes, and ramps got to fix. Life is currently in the way and a few stories behind. Sorry. Hey, you don't have to worry. Hey, as long as you get to it. That's why I try not to throw too much spoilers out here. I only talk about certain points that I don't know if they landed and I need some help. For those that are wondering what he's talking about, the legs means somebody who's not airborne. Pogues, that's persons other than grunts. And remps is an old nomenclature for rear echelon motherfuckers. So anybody that's not up in the front line. Okay. Worst number says, I only know 2 genders, male, female. That's it. Well, okay. You're making me go into politics. I didn't want to go into politics. Here's the fun thing. We're on YouTube. Okay. So I can say one of these words a grand total of once before this video is flagged and demonetized. The reason they want you to say gender is because online, even on TV, you are not allowed to say the word sex. Why? Because it has a specific language. It is attached to your biology. That's what it is. The gender, the reason they want you to say that is because it's ambiguous. It is fluid, quite literally. If you want to see gender fluid, I'll go piss on the floor or something. What the fuck? But the actual word gender, when you actually break it down, has to do with somebody's sexual preference, not their actual biologics. That's it. That's why I don't use the word whenever I can help it. I don't ever say that. And I have actually screamed at people when they ask me, say, how many genders are there? And I said, could you be more specific? Can you break it? And as soon as you do that, they panic and leave. So nothing against you, War Sniper. Okay. No, keep all your stuff coming. But that's my stance on that, and I'm sticking to it. Grog says, dude, XXL fits me like a medium. I thought you were going to say, like a glove. Okay. And there's the Sir Braddock. Same here, man. Okay. Demon here. If they showed us everything after... Okay, if they showed us everything after the patch during the promo demo, it would be different. They made change after promising not to, and it's not what they changed. It's that they changed it in the first place. Yes, the fact that they went in and changed things. So basically, you could, everybody who bought the game could sue the company for, what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it. Don't type it yet. False advertising. That's it. You could actually sue them and say, hey, false advertising. This was on the demo. This is the game. This is wrong. Give me my money back. Yes, I played the game. Yes, I beat the game. Yes, I enjoyed the game. I don't give a shit. Give me my money back because you sold me a product that was not set up for the advertising. Just like those folks who said the Joker was in that one of those god awful movies, Suicide Squad, and they pitched it up like he was going to be like the main baddie or something. He's only in there for like 5 minutes. I mean, granted, as soon as I saw the Joker was a friggin' meth head, I couldn't give a shit. Regardless, you guys are right. The fact that they changed it after you bought it is just that's bullshit. I mean, that's straight up bullshit. Stop telling me to calm down, War Sniper. I'm fine. Okay. Ava says, all right, who's getting dropped on? Well, I'm dropping plates on people all night because I'm just kind of pissed off at certain things. I just want to give us good media. Is that so hard to ask? I mean, it's bad enough my Battletech game has a friggin' gender slider with they in it. And so that doesn't make sense. And thankfully, that's the only what the fuckery going on in there because the game is actually fun. I enjoy it. Okay. War Sniper says, you can drop on me. You might think about that twice, War Sniper, because she'll do it. She'll do it. See, right after this, don't test me. Yeah, you guys do have to go in. Okay, Demon here highlighted the actual women in Warhammer 40K. Sisters of Battle and Sisters of Silence. I keep forgetting the ones of Silence. They're like a PSYOP or a Spec Ops group that goes in basically their version of a CIA hit team. I remember hearing about that. And God help you if you say something wrong against the God Emperor or whatever, because they'll just, or they'll throw you in one of those machines where they basically shove a friggin' spiky mace up your ass for the rest of eternity, and you got to live the rest of your short life in agonizing pain. Let's see, Henry Cavill. Oh, Henry Cavill, you mean the thirst trap with some extra meat? I guess you're right, Ava. I mean, you can't. I can't argue. I'd love to have a body that good, but seriously, I don't have enough time during the day to go to the gym and work out for 3 hours every day like I used to. Like when I was in college, I was a friggin' monster. I did a friggin' competition where I flat benched 405, and honestly, I thought I ripped everything. And I don't mean ripped as in shit myself. I mean, I thought I just took all the muscle apart. I was actually couldn't move very well after that. It was terrible. But yeah, it just like the pretty girls. They used to get the pretty girls to draw us guys in, but now we've been oversaturated with it. Maybe that's what they're thinking. You know, hey, we've oversaturated with the pretty girls. Maybe we want the not so pretty girls. No. If we like the drink, we want to keep drinking said drink because we like the drink. Doesn't mean we're tired of the drink. We are enjoying said drink. So don't give us a different drink that you know we're not going to enjoy. Because if we like drinking the beer and you know we don't like tequila, don't give us a fucking tequila. We already told you we don't want it. So stop trying to slide it in front of us. Ugh. But the thing is, a lot of the stuff goes right over their fucking heads. Let's see. Grog says George was murdered, and I'll fight over that. Are you talking about George Carlin? George Carlin was 70 some odd years old, and he did a lot of drugs when he was younger. You could actually see in his last stand-up, his body was coming apart. So either they were giving him a certain type of poison where his body was going to degrade in front of everybody. No, I can't say. I think he just lived a hard life, and I think it caught up to him really, really fast. At least that's my take on it. If you got evidence, I'm all fucking ears. He also says Carlin and Kennison. Yep. Yeah, that one. I'm trying not to actually scream into the microphone. Believe me, it would be headphone warning from hell if I actually screamed in this microphone. I used to be a drill sergeant. Believe me, they could hear me in the next town if I wanted. But yeah, and the thing is that Scream was so honest. Kennison, he was murdered. He was absolutely offed. And there was a good chance his family was the ones who wanted to do that. Because for those who don't know Sam Kennison, and I do recommend you look it up, he was a very in-your-face type of guy. I mean, he did a couple scenes like, what was that? Back to School or something like that, I think is the name it was, where he played a professor, but he was basically playing himself in the role. Anyway, when he did his, he took a head injury when he was young, and his family was a bunch of preachers. They were evangelicals, and they kind of pushed him away from that a little bit, even though he was still brought up in there. Eventually, when he came back, he did one sermon after I think he was like in his late 20s, and it was really good. I mean, it was just really good. It was all about bringing people together and trying to work together and finding peace within yourself. And here's where the easiest way to do it, but it's still going to take some work and all this. But one thing he didn't do is say, by the way, send me money. He didn't do that through the whole thing at all. And that pissed everybody off. And he basically got excommunicated from his own people on that, which I think is bullshit. And after getting divorced, I believe for the second time, it didn't look so well on his family. And magically, he was hit by a dump truck or some craziness. And he didn't die instantly either. Not like Patton, where they ran him over with his own tank. He's another one they offed because they didn't want him around. But Kennison, yeah, when you read into that, it's actually very, very interesting. Let's see. On to the next one here. War Sniper says, yeah, I don't know why men cosplay or play as women in games. I can understand the women in games thing if you're one of those really fast finger fuckers, because usually the female player in the game has a speed boost. They do move faster. That's the only reason I know anybody plays women in games, with one exception, and that was one of the League of Legends characters. The joke was League of Lesbians, by the way, because only the female characters were good. Okay, don't get me wrong; they were okay to look at in the cinematics. Actually, they were quite nice to look at, especially the redhead with the twin swords, short swords she had. She just had this kind of I'm gonna hurt you, but you're gonna enjoy it look on her face. Anyway, every good character in that game was female, so I could see people playing as female in that game because you don't want to suck. Okay, this thing jumped like crazy. Give me a second. Yeah, I can understand. Okay, Ava says Cyberpunk Edge Runners was on Netflix, was the last good show. I didn't see it. Like I said, I ended my stuff when Mignonez came out. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me translate that to English. Cuties. When that piece of shit came out, I was just like, no. And the kicker is, I thought this was just one of the totally messed up parts of it. Not only were they showing, the young girls doing that shit, but before I erased it, somebody said, you might want to see this. He goes into his own account. He scrolls down. He sees the LG whatever the fucks. He goes into that section. He goes, okay, here's the remote. Find me one with 2 women. I was like, okay. I start scrolling through. I can't find a single one. Not one. They erased them all. They memory hold every single one, because every single time there is a girl on girl one there, they always have attractive actresses. And you know what I said about they hate pretty women. So there you go. It's just gone. And I was like, wow, you one-sided sexist shit. Yeesh. And I honestly, I wouldn't even let kids watch Netflix nowadays. It's some of the stuff is just fucked in the head. It just really is. Just like certain shows, my dad won't let his granddaughters watch because it is fucked up. When you actually look at it, it's fucked, and it's digging into their subconscious. It's just fucked up. Yeah. I mean, that's the same reason I don't allow Disney in this house. You will not find a Disney movie, game, or anything like that. If anybody brings one, like a blanket or something, I'm not going to take a security blanket away from a kid. That's just being an asshole. However, I will not allow Disney in here at all. I know what Disney is all about. Once I realized what they were all about, and I fought it for a long time because I grew up on that garbage. Now I'm Generation X, and we grew up on a lot of garbage, and I don't just mean media, but when it came to Disney, holy fuck! I still remember the Song of the South movie. I remember going to the theaters and watching it. I didn't know how racist that shit was. That was screwed up. But what's messed up nowadays is, now, if you like Disney, you might not want to listen to this part, but just like that famous Snow Queen movie that's supposed to be based off the book, has absolutely fuck all to do with the book, by the way, because I've read the book. The book's not too bad. I didn't fully enjoy it, but it wasn't a horrible read. Anyway, when they do their song where they're singing how she's got to let it go, and honestly, you think if you got to let it go, she's trying to release a big old shit. No, if you actually listen to the lyrics, she's talking about from the beginning, I'm all alone because I'm the good girl. Nobody wants to hang out with me, all this. So I'm going to let go of the good girl persona, and I'm going to go get laid. I'm going to go let a guy do this to me. And then the perfect girl is gone. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the good people who have been trying to keep me on the straight and narrow and make sure I have a good life say. Now I'm going to be, instead of getting the cold shoulder from these folks here, all my peers who are screwing their life up by the numbers, I'm going to get the cold shoulder from all my parents and my siblings and everybody else because, oh, don't worry, the cold doesn't bother me. No, I don't want little girls thinking it's perfectly fine at a very young age to go and do that sort of thing. Call me old fashioned if you want, but I don't think that's something you should be leaking into little girls' heads. So, you can kiss my right one, make the left one jealous until the man in the middle spits in your face. That's all I give a shit. Okay. Demon says, for me personally, I would never cosplay as a woman, but I do play with female characters in games that I can explain. Yeah, so can I. Not to mention, sometimes it is the main character. Case in point, when Tomb Raider used to be good, you see her jagulated, pixelated, semi-round butt in your face the entire time. It is what it is. It's from a third person perspective. Warsnap said, be like me in my lore. I have a Kitsune wife and child. Okay. Dude, you got your passport, bro. You got your passport, man. He's not just going overseas, man. He's going into another fucking dimension. That's where he's going. Layman's town. It sounds like Tour de France. Layman's. Are you talking about? Never mind. Oh, Ava. Oh, not in for long tonight. She's got to go. Have fun. Stay safe. Have a good night, Ava. Hope all is good. Everybody saying bye to her. Let's see. Demon says, I make characters I looking at. I'm assuming that was like looking at. Well, I play the games for hours. Yeah. Thing is, again, I'm a Battletech fan, so I don't actually see my avatar. I see a bunch of robots running. Well, I shouldn't say robots, but I see a lot of battle mechs running around. These are just hunks of metal. Holy fuck, I'm thirsty. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to get something down my throat or I was in trouble. And I know the jokes are coming in on that one. Okay. And yeah, I could see that. Just like the whole thing about Stellar Blade. Now, here's the fun thing. That scene they showed, that little clip or screenshot that they had of what they called Har R. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'm sure it means something, and I don't really give a shit. However, this is genius marketing, what they're doing here, because I want you to think about it. You have this very tall for an Asian female with a very voluptuous hind end right in front of you, and don't tell me your eyes don't immediately wonk right there, right on her cheeks. And in the background, it doesn't say hard R, it says harder, as in harder, as in harder. I mean, that's what's seeking into your psyche, folks. That is good advertising. That's what that is. Holy shitballs. Either that or somebody saw it and said, you know what, that'll be funny. Let's see. Everybody's saying good night. Okay. Yes, Demon, I did get your email. Oh, that came up fast. Excuse me. Okay, Sir Braddock, that's just funny. I got to write that down. Men from Mars, women are from Venus. Others from Uranus. I have a feeling you like that joke just like towards the end of a certain series where you had the taints and the floppies with the two different species coming in. And when they lined up, if you looked in line, you had the taints situated right between the floppies and Uranus. I still crack up. I was laughing when I wrote it down. No kidding. I'll shit. If I could do it really quick, I'd actually pull that notebook out and I'd friggin' show you actually where I wrote it down. And you actually see that the way I was writing it started looking kind of funny because I'm cracking up. I actually know somebody. He's got another podcast. I'm gonna have to send that one into him because that's just dude. That was good. That was good. The more I think about it, the funnier it is. Grog says being 6 foot at 325 sucks. Yeah, dude. Might I suggest the carnivore diet? The only thing that works for me to lose a lot of weight is either A, full carnivore, or B, the water diet. And honestly, it's not just drinking water. It's you get one of those gallon jugs from like Amazon or whatever. Make sure it's BPA free. And it's got the times on it. It starts at 9 a.m., goes to 9 p.m. And within that 12 hours, you need to drink that gallon of water. The reason for that is twofold. One, it fills you up so you don't eat as much. And two, when you instead of feeling hungry, you're hitting your body with water, which dulls the hunger pains if you hear them at all. It's an old camper's trick. I still use it. Let's see. Rock says, I do my time at a gym just like it's a job. The pay is my fitness. Yeah. Hey, dude, you might be, I don't know what you look like, man, but you might be one of those big fuckers I used to be. I don't train for that anymore at all. My time of heavy lifting is done. If I tried to heavy lift again, I will break something else. And I'm going to be not behind this computer, but I'm going to be in that bed for 4 or 5 months because I won't be able to fucking move. It is what it is. Please do more stories of Ragnar and Larry. You mean Gregnar? It's not Ragnar. The reason I never use Ragnar is because that's used already on other mediums or medias, and I could actually get in a little bit of trouble for using that. Gregnar and Larry, it's in the pipe. I got a lot of different ones I got to go through. Let's see. Grog sitting here talking about the Superman curse. War Sniper, I'm tired as hell, man. Ugh. Yeah, I got you. A lot of you guys are in different parts of the planet, and I do appreciate you being with me today. War Sniper, hold up. Wait, what? Harder? Yeah. You just had look. Seriously, all you have to do is look at the screenshot. It says harder. And there's even a space where the E kind of fell out. That's it's there. You can't miss it now. I guarantee every single one of you, every time you see it now, is going to go, that's what it says. Let's see. Dina says, okay, just want to be sure. Sorry, I was later than Friday. I got sick and took longer to finish it. I'm sure it could use some work. I might add a little bit of, flair to it, but I'm going to stick with the base of what you got. Says go full meat or drink a lot of water. Okay. Well, the thing is on both of those, the thing is whatever whenever you're going to go on any type of restrictive diet like that, and this is somebody who's found out the hard way. Okay. And there's a lot of people like, you don't want to lose weight, you got to go vegan. If you go vegan, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to feel like shit and you're going to have a lot of health problems. Okay. The thing with a restrictive diet, any of those, is you have to talk to your doc, and every like maybe 2 to 3 months, you're going to have to go in and get blood drawn. Reason being, and this has happened to 2 people I know, surprisingly, both female, but they both went on carnivore diet and they found out that their body actually, they have a condition where they actually require certain items. In one case, she actually, to keep from her body shutting down completely, she has to have some sort of sweets or dairy or something like that. High fruit, or not fructose, high glucose and carbohydrates. Now the thing is, with her, she can, every other day she can have a cupcake and call it good. She's fine. She doesn't have the very far end of that spectrum, thankfully for her, because if she had the one that is, I know that condition can get really bad and you literally have to bulk up or you die. That being said, the other one, it was what was it? They were missing something, and it was real simple. It's like all you had to do was eat a couple of olives or some onions or something like that. It was missing something simple. His body wasn't absorbing through meat a certain nutrient or a certain amino acid. I don't exactly know what it was. And all he had to do was, instead of just meat with a little bit of salt, he had to put meat with maybe onions or mushrooms or something on it, and he's good. So that's why I say you got to check. They'll draw blood, they'll go through the whole thing. If you're short on something, they'll let you know. It is what it is. I've looked into this a lot, and unfortunately, given my situation, I can't eat as well as I'd like to. But it is what it is. But I'm not overweight. You know, I'm not. I mean, this thing's hanging off me. This thing used to stretch across me when I was in my heavy workout days. I'm done there. Okay. Let's see. Grog says 12,000 calories a day. 12,000. Holy shit. Chicken, beef jerky, and stucks, rice, pasta, coffee, pop, and nicotine. Okay. On this one, I would, as much as you can, I would remove as much of the pasta and rice as possible. If you can get rid of the nicotine, great. If you can get away from the dip or the cigarettes you got, man, that'd be awesome. As far as the soda pop, that one's just like coming off of nicotine. That's going to hurt. I've done that several times, cut sugar completely out of my diet, and it makes you agitated because you're coming off a high. It's just that simple. That being said, you don't have to go cold turkey. If you can gut it out, it works great. If you can't gut it out, try something else. Trying to ease yourself off that sucker. Because the thing is, with the rice and pasta in particular, that's starch and carbs. You don't really require that. I don't know what a Stux is. You guys might be somewhere else. But that stuff, if you eat a lot of it, what it does is it breaks down, it builds into fat as a fat reserve. And if you're trying to lose weight, again, that's what you want to cut out on. I will say that's difficult because it's fucking everywhere. Just like trying to get corn syrup out of your diet. It is so difficult to do that, especially over on here in the US. It is fucking crazy. Now, as far as coffee, I don't have my coffee cup with me, but just to lose weight, I started drinking just straight black coffee. I might have milk and sugar in my coffee once a week as a treat, and that's it. And it helps a lot. As far as the soda, again, restrict it as much as you can. That's another one that's just tough because the stuff that's in there is just got you. It's got you by the balls, man. It's got you by the balls. There's no problem with the chicken, the beef, or any of that. That's perfectly fine. That being said, the redder the better, but you still got to be safe when cooking it. Based on what I see here, I'm restricting a few items and it's going to take a while. Now, just like I put in the story, that phrase I put in about the timeline, that's no shit. That me and several others, we sat down, we thought about, and we broke this down. We actually built a regimen for working out. Now, it's mainly cardio focused. Okay, it's not there to make you huge. It's actually based off your body weight, or not your body weight, your height, and it will actually decide the weight you're pushing. That being said, in there, there's a whole thing about when you start a new regimen, just like when you're breaking a habit, the first week is bad. The second week is so much worse. But by the end of the third week, you cannot argue with results, period. And I've seen it happen. I've done it. It's just there. And then at the end of the third week, especially if you're journaling stuff down, I pull my journal up now, but I got a couple things on it. Hold on, let me move this stuff here, and I'll grab it. Here's my journal. Every day, I have what I got to check off. I got to get that thing set up for the rest of the month, and it helps. It helps. All right. On to the next one. Worst number says, I do new 210 push-ups, 3 sets of 70, and then on Saturday, 10 sets. Oh, that's good. Actually, getting up anywhere past 50 is a win in my book, especially if you're above 35. I have, when I was in the service and we were going just absolutely whole hog, I could do 100 push-ups straight. No joke. Wasn't a problem. Why? Because I got the shit smoked out of me so many times that my punishment was 25 regular push-ups, 25 wide arms, 25 diamonds, and then 25 bulldogs, which, by the way, they found that that's actually really bad for your shoulders, so don't do those. And that, push-ups, and I could do those without even raising my back. I just had to move my arms. It can be done with enough training. Oh, beef jerky and beef sticks. Okay, Grog, I see. If they're homemade, you're fine. If they're factory, like, snap to a Slim Jim, dig it. That shit, that stuff is really bad for you because the extra preservatives they put in it. But if you can find somebody who makes them, dehydrates them yourself, you're golden. Worst Neighbor says, my meat eating side is the diamond. One out of the two, I love meat. Okay, I might be missing something here. The dominant, or is that supposed to be the dominant? One out of the two. Okay. Yeah, freaking typos a kill. Hey, it happens, guys. Don't worry. That's my job, is to figure this out. Okay. Oh, geez. Grog says, even my wife, who is anti-tobacco, says I should smoke because it keeps me calm. That's because when you stop, you go through withdrawals. Purist, I've done this. I've seen this. It is crazy. When the first time I was deployed, everybody in the entire platoon who smoked says, I'm not going to smoke the entire time I am overseas. And I told them, okay, I'll bet you $50. $50 right here. We'll sign the paper. We'll shake hands and all this other bullshit. And we'll say, okay, if you're busted smoking, you owe me $50. If you don't smoke the whole time, I will pay you. I paid one guy. Okay. Everybody else, it was a nice little like $500-600. Although on the opposite end, I did have one guy who within a week was just smoking like a goddamn chimney. And yeah, whatever. But I've been to the field with guys who couldn't bring their tobacco, their dip and all this other shit. And yeah, you get mean, you get agitated, you start jonesing for it. He's like, oh, motherfucker. And yeah, it gets bad. It gets really bad. I went on Side note story, little army story for you. I went on this is a 3-week field problem. And before we went, my XO came down. He dropped bags in front of us. He says, all your tobacco goes in this bag. He came back, and the ball at the bottom of the bag was maybe about the size, a little bit bigger than a baseball at most. He picks him up. He goes, unless you want me to smoke the shit out of you before we walk out to the field, I will cancel trans. You will put everything in here. And if I find one person with tobacco, I'm giving you an Article 15 because this is a lawful order. Put the fucking tobacco in the bags. Yeah, he came back. The bags were like this full. He ties him up. He brings him into his office. He leaves him there. So unless you snuck one out and you were really, really sneaky about it, you were fucked on that one. And they just, those guys had a horrible time for about a week. It was just horrible because they're detoxing. The only bonus was they're constantly moving. So they're using up their energy and they're chugging water. It was hot. I mean, this is in the South Pacific where we were at. So you're just pouring sweat constantly. So you're putting like 2-3 gallons of water in you a day. Of course, you also have to because the MREs are almost nothing but salt. And there you go. So after about 2 weeks, most of them kind of, just petered off, calmed down. It took a while. A few of them are still jonesing. And we came back, and no kidding. Well, at the end of that, let me get this right. It was supposed to be 5 days of fun. That's what he told us. Thankfully, he messed up and didn't realize we had a 4-day weekend coming up. So it was only a 4-day movement to contact, which means you don't stop moving. You throw your pack on and you just keep walking. We were doing circles. We were going past the same place like 3 times a day. And we're like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just keep walking. You're falling asleep walking. Every once in a while, you'll hear somebody hit the ground. I hit the ground once, but I hit something. My legs went out from under me because it was when the heavy dew was hitting. So the ground was a little slick. Off to the side. I bounced back up. He's like, you fell asleep standing? No, I fell over. You fell asleep, didn't you? I fell over. Guy behind me says, no, I watched him. His legs went out from under him. He almost cracked his cranium on the ground. So we get back. It's the only time I've heard the man say day one, the weapons, heavy dirt, dust, rust, and carbon. Get him in the arms room. We're standing in formation doing one of these. Where I remember holding one guy up because he was just gonna like he was falling asleep standing up. Have you ever seen that scene in the Pacific where they come back and they go out drinking and they're all standing there pretty much still drunk? That's what it looked like. Well, he comes down and he's got all the bags. They're not marked. He literally just drops them. And all of a sudden, everybody who hasn't had any tobacco is like, well, me personally, I didn't give a shit. He just called everybody to attention, said, get the fuck out of here. And as soon as everybody was released, many of them dove into him. I seen one guy grab a freaking dip can. I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. And I thought for a second he was going to shove it up his nose too. I wouldn't be surprised the way he was going. And I was like, what the hell, dude? But you can get past it. You can. It just takes a while. I thought you guys might find that funny. Okay. Let's see. SS Demon says, I listed the inspirations for each ship because I have no artistic talent and it helped kind of show what I was picturing or how the weapons work. I did attempt to use paint to make the outline, but yeah, no. Hey, I can't draw to save my nuts, okay? I can freely admit it. I've tried. I suck. I'm much better with the actual word of it. I know people who are on the complete opposite side. You give them a half-assed description, and they will make a beautiful drawing for you. I can't do that. It's not built into this meat suit to do that. That being said, working together. Now, the thing is, you don't have to go overly specific when you're talking about any of your ships. All you have to do is give a basic premise. I mean, with the flying bricks, I mean, basically almost every single one of them is a flying brick. It has some weapon blisters on it, which is just a little door that moves out of the way. Everybody knows that. And then the weapon system can pop out. But, you know, I didn't have to go crazy. Sometimes less is more. Okay, so don't beat yourself up about that one. If the ship itself is the main focus, then yes, you have to go a little over the top on that. Demon says, I'm hoping it's something you can work with, and I would love to get some feedback from you for what needs change. I figure it needs some tweak. I have a gut feeling it needs something, but I can't think of what. Well, let me get a little deeper into it. Like I said, time has been restricting so bad that I seriously want to hit my head against this wall, that wall, and that wall. Not because of you guys, but because of, I mean, everybody keeps doing you're retired, you can come help me. Right. You work from home, you got time. Right. Hey, we're family, you can help me. Right. Hey, I work with your family, and if you piss me off, something might happen, so you can help me out. Right. You guys know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Grog says, I went 8 months, no nicotine for a surgery. By the end, she brought me up. Oh, damn, dude. Really? 8 months. I don't know what to tell you on that. You might want to talk to a doc on that one, because there are certain things that might be in your bloodstream that's actually drawing you in that way. If it's 8 months and you are still going through withdrawals, something's messed up. War Sniper says, I have freaking dyslexic, or it's dyslexic. I don't know. You're a dyslexicist? Yeah, I know a couple dyslexicists. Okay. Leonid, fighter-sized railgun, possible or not possible in sci-fi stuff? Okay. You're going to have to verify what you're talking about there, Leonid. Are you talking about a fighter with a railgun the same size as the fighter, or a fighter-sized railgun on a ship? Because if you're talking about a fighter-sized railgun on the ship, that's perfectly fine. That, depending on the size of the ship, it might not even turn the ship much. Now, again, Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you have the railgun on top of the ship, when the railgun turns, it's going to turn the ship. So you have to either have thrusters on the other side to keep the ship in place while the gun moves, or you're going to have to turn the ship more and more and more and more and more to actually get it to fire on something. So that's, again, if that's what you're going for, man. Now, if you have a railgun that's a fixed railgun on a fighter, I don't see an issue. It's basically just part of the frame at that point. Remember, in space, you got no gravity. There's no drag. There's no anything you don't put out there except for a couple little pieces of space debris. So, yeah, if you're putting a full size or the same size weapon on your fighter, it's fine. It's going to be a bitch to fire, I'll tell you that much. Because again, the law means the faster that projectile goes out, the more counter force you're putting out against the actual barrel, which means unless it has one hell of a recoil buffer, even then you're still going to be going for a ride. Chances are that's why when they did the Halo ships, they did it right. If you look, the gun is lined up perfectly right behind the engines. So as they fire and the force pushes it back, they fire the engines, which pushes it forward. So it's basically squeezing the ship just a little bit. So there's still going to be kind of a shudder at that, but yeah, it's doable. Let's see. How many times you guys are going to write dyslexic? Grog, with the PTSD, the smokes. Oh, dude, you don't have to tell me. See, I went the other side of that. Is I kind of quit drinking because of that. Because if I drink, I start remembering shit, and I don't want to remember some shit. So it is what it is. Lean in said, just a gun and a cockpit with engines. So yeah, it's built into the ship. There's no problems there. Now, if you're designing one that, again, the larger the projectile and the faster or the speed of the projectile out, along with rate of fire, of course, will decide how maneuverable you're going to be. Because if it's a very large projectile, like the front of the nose, oh, you better have inertial dampeners from hell, or else you're just going to go every time it fires because it's going to launch that way. Next thing you know, unless your head's actually bolted into the seat, you're just going to, you know, it's basically like you've seen the videos of the aircraft coming in on the aircraft carriers. They catch that tail hook and they all just go, whoa, wham. It's like, yeah, that's about it. Only it's not going to be as slow. It's going to be like instant throw you about. Now, when you do the math on this, and yes, there's equations you can follow, and it's not that hard. Sometimes they have the calculator for you. You got to watch anything over, I think it's 160 miles an hour, something like that, will kill you. As far as sudden stop, it's just, yeah. So yeah, you got to watch that. Grog says, hang out equals a hangover. Okay, why not? Demon says, yeah, I was very detailed, but also not perfect detailed. You don't have to have perfect details as long as you get the point across. That's the whole thing. In each of the stories I do, if I had to specifically break down bolt by bolt every ship, first off, you guys wouldn't want to listen to it because you're just going to be like, get to the fucking point. You know, just like there's a couple channels I used to like to watch, but then I realized they're spending 20, 30 minutes or a 20, 30 minute video, and like 15 minutes of that is them just wasting time. And I'm sitting there going, get to the fucking point. It is what it is. But yeah, just as long as you get the basics, you don't have to have perfect details. Now, certain things you got to remember. Be specific on the type of engine you use. That's going to decide how you move, and how much crew, size of the ship, and weapons. Okay, sensors is an extra if that's part of the story. But most every ship, those first four are the only ones people give a shit about. Unless you're, again, going to be in that one ship for doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Okay. And hi there, sir. The goodest sir is here. Let's see. Grog says, I'm allergic to adhesive and nick. Really? And the gum and lozenges work about as good as teats on a bear hawk. Oi. Yeah, work as good as tits on a bull. That's what I always heard. I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. I know they can give you a shot, or it's some sort of drink where you'll have a reaction. They have something for drinkers too. The thing is, I don't think you want to go. That's for like extreme, like if you smoke again, you die type of situation, because it actually has a very violent reaction and it's not fun. We gave it to one dude who just, again, if he kept drinking, it was going to kill him. And he was only like 21, 22 years old. And after he drank that, he couldn't actually drink without violently throwing up. And of course, the drink also gave him like massive diarrhea. So he was in bad shape no matter what. But okay. Somebody said, dude, did you just tell me to bite you? Bite me 1167 says, sorry, Sin, about getting Krickner's name wrong. It's fine. I usually listen to your stories while lying in bed and often fall asleep. Okay. I find you one homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute. Anyway, so maybe that's where I came up with the other name. No worries. No worries. Wait, there's another guy I listen to that helps me fall asleep. Big Red 40K. He does BattleTech stuff, And when he does his reviews, when he's done with a certain thing and he's just like going over the stats, he's got this really low, steady voice as he goes. And if it's just low enough where I can't understand what the fuck he's saying, then yeah, it's the same thing. Lena says, yeah, the railgun is basically fixed to the frame of a heavy-sized fighter. Okay. Again, weight doesn't matter. Mass does in space. Okay, this is one thing. I actually cursed out in the comment section a sci-fi channel on this same thing because he was doing torque to weight ratio. He said in space, and I was not the only one. I just happened to be the first one to just basically go, dumbass. It's thrust to mass ratio, which is very different numbers, especially in a zero-G environment. Now, the thing is, Lena, if you're going to use a space superiority fighter or an aerospace fighter, which means it can be at least partially atmospheric, yeah, be careful on that. Because you fire a railgun that big inside an atmosphere, that gun is going to rip clean off the airframe. It's just this too much force going in. And if it stays in the airframe, the fighter is jello. The fighter is dog food at that point. I mean, it's just crazy. Okay. Yeah. My sorry guys, I had to move a little bit. My back is killing me. I just hold on. Okay. But yeah, if you're working on a fighter with that type of ordnance, you're working on a fighter that's basically there to take out like larger ships. If you're there to shoot up small ships, you want rapid fire, smaller rounds so you can have a better chance of piercing something that is, well, important. But if you're using larger munitions, you're trying to punch through the hull. Okay, Demon says, I figured once it's fully worked out, I would share it in the Discord so others can see the fleet. Oh, there you go. The goodest sir kind of either he removed his messages or somebody stopped him. I don't know. Gross says, what about a gel medium in the cockpit of the gun-based fighter, like the cars from Demolition Man? The ones in Demolition Man theoretically would work, but not as much. The gel-based medium that you're talking about is like the gel that's in body armor. Would it work a little bit? Sure. Just like the gel layer in Master Chief's suit in Halo. Would it work? Yeah, to a point. Would it actually work to keep you from the squishy bits inside your body from racking against your ribs and turning into nothing but paste? Probably not. Because therein lies the rub. Even if your brain stays intact, your heart, your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, all that stuff is going to just go against the front and then come back again really, really fast. I don't care how much you can compress things. There's only one area of the body that could be stretched and compressed without any problems, and that's the bladder. All the others have very strict levels on how far they can be compressed and how much they can stretch. You either or on either side, it's either going to pop like a zit or it's going to rip itself in half. Now, as far as if you're about to crash, would that foam help? Probably, because it's going to compress a little bit. The way they had it at the end is styrofoam. I don't know. Once it gets hard like that, it doesn't compress well. Okay, Sir Broderick says, oh, Tavon, have you tried a nicotine spray? They use Nicorette to quit, and it worked. Sir Braddock used it and it to work. Okay, so Grog, if you're still here, there's another option to try. This is a little bit beyond my wheelhouse when it comes to quitting cigarettes, because when I was a teenager, one of the guys saw me bumming a bunch of cigarettes. He's like, "You're addicted." I said, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Tell you what, you go without cigarettes for a week, and if you can show you're not addicted, I'll buy you a whole case." And I was like, okay. Within 2 or 3 days, I was getting the shakes. That was pretty much it. I just had a little bit of the trembles, and I looked at my hands. They're doing this whole shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna reenact that scene from Blazing Saddles. Look at that. Steady as a rock. Yeah, but I shoot with this hand. You know. All I can say is good luck on that. I hope something works. Leonid said depleted uranium slugs are standard, or titanium or steel is a substitute. Tungsten is heavy enough and strong enough to do the job. Titanium is it's strong enough, it's a little light. Remember, you're trying to get the mass to actually punch through, and basically the longer the shard that you're using on a mass driver or railgun, whatever you want to call it, once it gets in, if you have all this other mass behind it, it's going to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. If it gets far enough, it's going to break free and just keep going in the next section. If you got this tiny little one about the size of my fingernail, if it goes in but it doesn't have anything to push all the way through, it might get stuck, or it might not even penetrate at all. It might bounce off. For that, you need more mass. You need something that's denser. Titanium, though hard, is not super dense. Depleted uranium is light like titanium. I know, I've worked with the stuff, and not that I like it, but it is heavy enough to do the job. Thing is, titanium also can be a little flexible. Depleted uranium is absolutely not. It will maintain its shape. It won't flange. It won't do any of that. Okay. Isaac says, can a Schwer Gustav style gun work in one of your stories? Not so much, really. Except there's one exception to that, and that is the anti-satellite / anti-ship planet-based cannons, which when I first talked about them, I said it fired at about Mach, I think, 7 or 8. And I was corrected in the comments section where it has to be at least Mach 17 to break free of the gravity well and actually strike at the target. So that one, yes, that one works as a fixed position. However, the difference with the Gustav gun is the Gustav gun, everything had to be created underneath for it to actually be able to move. It wasn't as mobile as people think. The actual planet-based anti-ship weapons are completely static, but they do 100% 100-degree rotate and then also point straight up. And they're basically giant rail guns or coil guns. Usually the way I do those is I use the Earth's magnetic power to actually run it, or I'll use 0 point. To me, those are the easiest ones, and that's direct hard science. It works. Okay, Grog says, sir, then what do I do to calm down when I go over the edge? I know and fully understand that my smoking is just a crutch and not sure what else to do. Well, I'm sure the goodest sir is going to put something in on that, but here's my 2 cents on that, Grog. Just like the old phrase, idle hands do the devil's work. Get it, find a hobby, go to the gym again, go for a run, just get up and move. Do something. Whatever you do, don't stay static on that, because just like all the rest, and I thought this was actually funny as fuck. One of the guys back in the day, he did the no fap challenge. I'm sure some of you have heard about that, where because he was addicted. I mean, seriously, you open up the front of his TV and you're like, okay, what do you got for movies? You pull the friggin' drawer. It's literally nothing but for just all sorts of adult content. And I'm just going to say adult content because I don't want to I've already pushed this stream to its limit. I mean, he just had drawers and drawers of stuff. I'm like, dude, you need to stop. One of the things was he would start getting that urge to do whatever. And what he had to do, he had to go out for a run. And he wasn't a big guy. He was not nearly big as you. He was 6'1" or 6. He was a little taller than me. So I'm guessing at least 6'1", because I'm 6 foot almost even. And sometimes he would run for hours at night. And the MPs actually started stopping him like, dude, are you okay? You're out here running all the time. You have insomnia? He's like, no, I was just trying to keep myself busy. Oh, okay, whatever. Because the gym was closed. We couldn't do that. But you need to find something to get your mind off it, keep you focused. Something that you can just randomly do. Because, I have my bees out there, which can keep you focused, but you're not going to just open them up whenever you feel like it. That's going to piss them off. With a queen bee, it's like having a wife. If she ain't happy, you ain't happy. If she ain't happy long enough, she's going to take half your shit and leave. And no joke. That's what swarming is. War Sniper says, I wonder if there's a PowerPoint that is free to use and not need a pay for. That pisses me off so much too. It used to be free. It used to be. Now everything's pay to use. I don't know on that one, dude. You're asking the wrong person here. Maybe somebody else has got an idea in there. Everybody says, going over the edge, toothpick and a fidget spinner. Okay. Why not? It's keeping your hands busy, right? Same thing. I don't know what BTDT is with fidgets and patch the I'm guessing you don't like fidgets and patch the holes in the walls. Okay. Grog says, I'll have to check with the VA about the spray. Yeah, definitely get them to pay for it. Why not? They're paying for our country's paying for everything else. I'm trying to stay away from the politics, guys, but it's very difficult. Okay, Sir says, what about antimatter plasma delivered on a missile? Well, that would be one hell of a boom, but that's your standard issue on that is the fact that it's still an explosive. Now, depending on the type of pulse you're using, you might get an EMP effect, but an actual explosion does absolutely fuck all in or outside of an atmosphere. Inside of an atmosphere, it's fucking devastating. Holy shit. You're looking at basically a mini nuke at that point. But outside an actual explosion, unless it's literally like right up against, like you're directly hitting, and then the force is contained because the missile's pushing in. Unless you hit perfect that way, if it's slanted, it's just gonna blast off. Explosives in space, just as far as hard science fiction goes, don't do dick. Now, if you want to go soft science fiction with any type of story and use antimatter, especially plasma contained, which you kind of have to because as soon as it touches any real matter, it explodes, then yeah, it would work fine. Sin, what about a Gerald Bullgun situation? Gerald Bullgun. What the fuck? Okay. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that. But I'm going to pull that up real quick. Gerald Bullgun. You kind of got me on that. Now you got me questioning. He's an artillery engineer. Okay. Oh, okay. He created the first howitzers. Yep. So, yeah. Well, no, he was there. He was an expert at making artillery. The thing now, with standard artillery, you got to remember that the limit of artillery is based on the size of the caliber and how much powder you can put behind it. Our World War II guns could fire about 26 miles and hit its target. Now, in all honesty, as far as the world's concerned now, that's pretty freaking short. We got guided munitions that can go a hell of a lot farther. That being said, if you're looking at in a zero gravity environment, range is almost minute. It's distance and speed, the speed of your round compared to the distance of the target, which is why if you're actually firing energy weapons at several light seconds away, they'll actually see the flash and be able to dodge. That's actually something that the Gundams actually got right, which I hate saying when one of these soft science fictions gets something right, but they did. Just like the whole, you'll actually see sometimes they'll have the ship, the whole front of the ship is a bunch of cannons and they're firing in sequence, brrr, brrr, just firing down. That's a slug match. They're literally just trying to saturate space with rounds trying to hit something. So they actually got that part right. Oh, been there, done that. Got it. Sorry, I'm not really good at the initialisms. Let's see. War Sniper says, I gone sleep. My head already very heavy and sleepy. He's out. All right. As we'll talk to you later, War Sniper. I'm sure it's wherever you are. I'm sure it's nighttime. Yep, night for you. Let's see. Everybody's saying good night to you. Later. Let's see. Grog says Mr. Bull is making a gun capable of launching an ICBM warhead. Oh no, they did that. They did that. Atomic Annie is what they called it. For someone in the well, no, we had in the U.S. Mossad took him off the playground. Yeah, I'm sure they did. That's in the 1950s, I believe they had it. They had the not only the artillery, but they had the Davy Crockett, which was a nuke bazooka, which was a really stupid idea. I mean, seriously, you're going to give a bunch of young grunts a nuclear weapon. Think about that for a while. Grunts don't give a fuck. If they can find a way to kill somebody, they're going to find a way. Believe me. If it means they're going to get hurt in the process, they don't give a fuck. That's one of the stories that's making the rounds again across the net because all these AI things, humans don't give a fuck. And grunts don't really give a fuck. Why? Because if we gave a fuck, we wouldn't be able to do our fucking job. That's how it works. You can't think of stuff like that. Let's see. Going down here, Lenin says antimatter torpedo warheads are overkill for me. Depends on what you can disable a warship. Now, given the right size, the right frequency, if done right, an antimatter torpedo would literally break a ship in half in space. Because again, if you're going in straight and you're able to basically turn it into a shape charge, the resulting explosion on the other side is just going to be this huge mushroom cloud inside the ship. So it's contained. So all those compartments are just exploding on all sides. And everybody's going to wonder why, hey, why is the floor rising? As it squishes them into the top of the bulkhead, or the head deck is what they call it. Now, I'm not a seaman, so I had to stop and remember. I had to look that up to find out what the fuck a ceiling was called on a ship. Yes, it is called the head deck. I thought the head was where everybody took a shit. Let's see. Well, oh shit. Oh, the sir with $20. Oh shit. Hold on, let me write this down so I can remember to give the sir his dues later on. He sent a $20 super sticker saying one what? One sticker. Okay. No, sir. You're number one. It's the goodest, sir. We're right here. And I do appreciate that. Hey, I'm never going to complain. I'm never going to argue with it. I appreciate everything you guys do, especially if you share this channel, get us up to 9,000, and I can start sending these t-shirts out to you guys. However, like I said, got to be 9,000. I said that before, and you know what the man said? I'm a man of my word. Yeah. So on that one, I am actually surprised. Thank you again, sir, for that. I will definitely keep that up. And I got it written down, so within a week, don't be surprised if you end up on the end of one of the videos. Let's see, where the hell was I? let's see. Grog says using high pressure oil pipe like 3-4. Okay. Okay. Length of the gun barrel was about a quarter. Oh yeah, the Paris gun was that big. The Soviets have self-propelled nuclear. Yeah, they basically copied our design. Let's see. Sir Braddock said the Davy Crockett on Jeep drive-by nuking by grunts for sure. Yeah, the thing is, you couldn't get far enough away where the radiation wasn't going to kill you. I mean, would it take out a tank? Sure. I mean, you know what they say? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and atomic weapons. So, oh fuck! Wait, no, wait. Oh, my eyes, my eyes. What? Oh, am I drinking? Because I think I'm seeing double. Am I seeing double? I think I am, because the sir just dropped another 20. Holy flying donkey shit! That is awesome. Okay, I gotta write this down. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna say times two. You know what? You think I'm not writing it down? I'm writing it down right there. Okay. You know I am. Thank you again so much. I very much appreciate that, sir. He doesn't have a super sticker. He just got a super, well, I think it's a sticker. All I see is a heart there. So I do appreciate that very, very much. So, yeah, it's not gay, but $20 is $20, you know. I find myself one man for the violation of the man code morality statute. Hey, I again, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. Because you know, again, I'm not shy. I'll take what I can get. And so anyways, I am going to jump back up so I don't leave anybody out here. Let's see. Alan says, how about the plans they thought about using nukes to dig tunnels and level mountains? And yes, they aren't the same. Holy flying shit. Okay, whoa, hold on. I gotta hold. Let's stop. Hit the brakes. Hold on. I gotta do this. With the most dangerous ship in the universe. Yeah, and yes, Demon, that's coming. It's being created right now. I only got the notes right now, but I'm working on it. And he was the one who recommended that I use a few of the titles in here. As long as nobody minds, I'll use the names in here as personnel inside the stories. I already did it once with our first ever super chat, which was Amish. And right now, I got a $50 super chat from SS Demon. You succubus loving mother, you crazy. What the? Is that another fox spirit you got there waving the things there? No, I'm not awesome. You're awesome, and you know it. I do appreciate that very, very, very much. You guys are fucking great. I'm actually amazed. Holy shit balls. And we got people actually leaving the chat because it's getting a little late. But we will keep going as long as people are still watching. I don't care if I hurt like hell tomorrow because I won't be able to talk. Like my boss would really care. Well, the boss is more along the lines of a friend of my brother. So again, thank you very much, the sir, and definitely the demon. Thank you so much. Going to be a big old thank you to all you guys later. Whoa, holy shit. Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. Something is right here because we got another $50 super chat from Grog. He actually came in. He says, I wouldn't do a squat for a Klondike bar, but I'll do some really sketchy stuff for a day pack. What the? Hold on. You guys are too fast. You're too fast. I love it. I can't believe what's going on. Oh my God. I'm losing my mind. Thankfully, I'm not losing my hair. Okay. But I'm still on Grog here with a $50 super chat. Very much. You know what? I wouldn't do much for a Klondike bar either. But but yeah. I definitely do some sketchy shit for a day pass too, but holy shit. You guys are freaking awesome. Hold on, let me You guys are doing this so fast. I got to write these down. I got to make sure I do. I got to write these down because sometimes when I go to check them, it doesn't register in the YouTube algorithm for some reason. Let's see. I'm guessing that's Vaughn instead of Van. I've heard it both ways. Holy shit! Whoa, God, yeah, I can't write that fast. Hold on, guys. You're killing me here. I love it, but you're killing me here. Okay, we got also Brian here with a $20 super chat, and he's got he put in a super sticker. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm writing these as fast as I can, folks. I'm writing these as fast as I can. Hold on, shit. And oh shit. I appreciate that so much. We got the Sir, we got the Demon, we got the Grog, we got Brian here. And again, Brian, he sent the $20. I am thankful so much. You guys, I appreciate that so much. And that is definitely going to help out the channel, something fierce. Because you know what? I got to pay for the sound effects that are coming in. Ugh, you guys, okay. Forget ×2. We got Sir ×3 here. Huh, God, you guys are killing me. And I love it. We got Erica as well, sending $5. I got to write this down. We got... Okay. Wow, shit. I can't believe it. I'm dying. You awesome people. You guys are awesome. You guys are totally awesome. Because we got Erica for 5. We got Sir ×3. And we got another one from Demon. He wants a ×2. Okay. He definitely got a ×2 on that. Thank you again so much. Holy shit balls. You guys are great. As I only see one of the actual super chats here, so you didn't have anything else to put in there. Grog says German pronunciation. I'm going to have to write in here German and actually look it up through like Google Translate or something, because I know I'm going to screw it up, because just like I don't do a lot of accents on my stories unless I'm trying to insult somebody, because my accents, it's like a black hole. It just suck. I mean, just crazy. It's but it's, oh my God, seeing all these colors, guys, I don't know what else to say except thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Grog here on the bottom says, I donate more, but I have a late night poker game. Oh, hey, enjoy yourself. You've already given, dude. It's so appreciated that you guys do this so much so, and you definitely are helping the channel. I do appreciate it so very much, and it is just absolutely crazy that this happened. I mean, we're almost 2 hours in. You guys have been with me for this whole time. I've been watching the counter. I got the counter up. For me, it's so it's over. Sorry, I'm trying to do this right. Over here somewhere. Sorry, I can't stretch that far. And I'm making sure that it doesn't drop below a certain amount, because if it does, we would just call the stream for the night. But, we got as many people watching as we got likes. So, hey, I'm not mine. And I definitely am liking the fact that the chat is just full of colors. And again, appreciate it. You guys are fucking great. Chances are it's going to take me the whole week to get through all these. So those of you who've doubled and tripled up, you're probably going to get the single mention. Everybody else, you might be grouped together, but you will get a mention. I am writing them down. I wrote them all. Don't worry. I wrote them all. They're right there. See, right there. Woohoo. Okay. Holy jeez, dude. Okay. Let's see. May you get a big pot in the poker game. You're not smoking a pot, are you? No. Okay. See, the thing is, I don't play poker for, well, this is what happened when I got deployed, when it came to the poker. Then my first tour, I didn't say nothing. Guys were playing all the time. And you got to figure that the lowest ranking guy will come back with about 20, 25 grand in his pocket, tax free. Well, one of these guys who should have about 30 grand in his account came back. He was $35,000 in debt and zero money in his account because he had gambled it all away. It took the introduction of not only battalion sergeant major, but the battalion commander, the brigade sergeant major, and division sergeant major, who personally came down and was pissed to find this out. He was just fuming. And he said specifically, he actually had it written in an order because the division commander actually signed it. If anybody is found trying to collect on a gambling debt, they will be the one who gets the Article 15. They will be the ones up for courts martial. They are just screwed. So all debts are hereby extinguished. And you could hear one or two guys go, and I'm just thinking, like, no, dude, you almost ruined someone's life over something like that. So that's why I don't play poker, because I had a bad experience. I can only hope, Grog, that you have a really good time and you do well. Honestly, if we were playing, you'd clean me out because I can't play for dog shit anyway. Yeah, that's he definitely went in over what he could pay for, and that not only bit him in the fourth point of contact, that kicked him in the nuts with steel-toed boots from a dead run. I mean, just yikes. And actually, my second tour, I saw some guys playing poker. I walked up. I said, "Hey, no gambling." They actually looked at me and said, "There's no money on the table, Sergeant." Really? So I grabbed the tin, opened it up, flipped it upside down. All the money fell out. And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I dropped the tin and said, "This will be gone when I come back. I'm going to lunch." I came back. They're still playing. I just walked up, kicked the fucking table over. Didn't even care. Knocked one guy actually right on his ass. They're like, "Oh, what you doing?" And start screaming. I'm just fuming. I'm screaming. People are coming out, finding out what's going on. Here comes my first sergeant. He saw what was going on. He flips out, asks, finds out who's where, looks at me and goes, "You go." I didn't even say Roger. I just about faced on my heels and assos and elbows. That's all you seen of me, and a vapor trail. I was not sticking around for what the fuck was coming in, because what was coming down on those guys was all sorts of holy hell. They all ended up on the towers for like 12 to 16 hours a day for the next 2 weeks. It was horrible for them. But I'd rather they spend time in the towers than, like you said, winning over his debts. I'm guessing that's the right phrase. I don't know. I'm not a poker player, but I mean, it is what it is. So let's see, Demon jumping in here with the poker. I remember the first time I played poker with my dad and his friends. They all made jokes until I got banned from playing with them for clearing the house. And I haven't played poker since then. You're like the guy on 40-year-old virgin. What the hell's that fucking ringer, man? What the hell? You guys are funny. You guys are funny. Okay, I'm out of this. I gotta switch to the water now. I always keep a glass of water around because I'm just constantly thirsty, especially in the summers around here. It just gets really dry, which is kind of weird. I'm in the Northeast. You would think it'd always be wet. It's not. But yeah, if anybody's going to go out, by all means, enjoy yourself. When I go to Vegas, people look at me like, "Why don't you go gamble? You're in Vegas." I'm here for the shows, man. I'm here to go see this person. I knew somebody who lived right outside of Vegas. I would spend like 2 days with him, just hanging out and stuff. Wouldn't hang out with his daughter. She turned out to be a real bitch. She looked good, but I guarantee she's going to pop out one kid. She's not going to pull the pin on one fat grenade. She's going to have one in each hand, pull them out with her teeth. And she's just going to explode. I mean, it's crazy. That being said, it is what it is. But yeah, those of you who've actually not gone to Vegas, if you go fairly soon, I recommend you go see Terry Fader. He won America's Got Talent. If you don't know who he is, just look him up, and you're going to be like, "I want to see this guy." I've seen it twice. Both times, I laughed so hard I almost pissed my pants. One time because I really had to pee because I showed up way too early and I decided to go to the bar and get schnocked. But yeah, definitely go see him. If you have kids, go to the medieval stuff. That is a kid's show. It is not for adults. Okay. They skimp on the drinks and it's just a straight up kid show. To me, it wasn't. I went to see actual jousting. The guy picked up the lance and it broke under its own weight. That wasn't real jousting. That was just again, if you have kids, enjoy. You're gonna have a blast. I will say the Luxor, one of the best freaking meals I ever had. It was just mountains of food. Just this, oh my god, it was just so good. If you get motion sickness real easy, you're not going to enjoy their elevator because it goes up at an angle, and you can tell it feels weird. But yeah, definitely go see those. A lot of the like topless shows, I've been to one, it's a waste of time. They went to another one where apparently some famous girl was in. Everybody said waste of time. Those are no. I have mixed reviews of the Blue Man Group. I've never seen it. Some people said it was good. Some people said it sucked. To each other. So, okay. Got a few more in here. Let's see. Grog says, Vegas, I go for the shows and slot machines. Yes, I don't even. When I do the slots, I've only done the slots a couple times, is I have a system. I'll take 7 quarters. I count them off. If I don't win anything after 7, I pick up, I move on to a different machine. If I win, the count starts over and I keep going. If I do that, I will never lose out. I will actually leave with more money than I started with. It might not be a lot, but I'll still leave with more. Last time I played poker, I got kicked out of Casino Niagara because I was winning. But I was playing 2-card guts. For those of you who don't know, you literally get 2 cards, and based on that, usually there's a wild 2. And if you have like a king and a 2, then you have a royal flush right there. So it is what it is. It's not the hardest game to beat. I always played against the dealer. I never played against the other guys. And we would just clear the dealer out pretty easy. Anyways, they came up to me at least twice saying, hey, we invite you over to this other table because they see after about 3 hours, I'm gaining a pretty high amount of chips. I think I made like $4 or $5 grand. Well, the high roller table's like $300 a hand. I was like, no. I looked over and one guy did one of these to me. I was like, dude, I know a setup when I see one. Finally, I screamed at the security guy who came in and asked me to join the other table. We invite you to leave. I spun around. I looked at him. I saw him in a tuxedo with that badge on him. I was like, security, right? Yeah. I'm in the middle of a hand. You got to let me finish. He's like, are you sure about that? I was like, yeah, I know what the rules are. You have to let me finish. I didn't win. But by law, they have to let you finish. They have to let you cash out. They don't have a choice. That is a requirement. They didn't really lose out that much. I left and I never went back. Anyway, Brian here says, have you considered doing a story about the humans building the first moon base? I've touched on those a couple times. The thing with the moon base is the moon would be a hub. It's not really someplace you'd want to live. Main reason is it's basically a ship that doesn't move. It's like living on the original Fort Drum, the concrete battleship. That's basically what you're doing, but you can't leave. You can't go out into the sunlight. You're just stuck inside. So that's basically what it is. Could I do it? Sure. Let me write this down because this might actually be a good one. Let's see. Story idea. First moon base. Okay. Let's see. Isaac says, is a Dyson sphere feasible in one of your stories? The idea of a Dyson sphere, a full Dyson sphere, to me is beyond ridiculous. The reason being is the amount of raw materials you would need You can't find to build one of those spheres in at least 3 different solar systems combined. Again, you're trying to encompass an entire system from our star all the way out to Neptune, encircled, completely encased by material that's got to be about a kilometer thick of different wires and all this other shit. I'm just, no. Now, if you were trying to do a new version of a Dyson sphere, which is closer, which is about the orbit of Mercury, maybe a little farther, it's still such a massive undertaking. You're talking centuries just to get the materials, and probably another millennia just to build the fucking thing. The sun's going to burn out by then. Is it feasible in hard science fiction? No. I don't mean to get agitated, but in theory, does a Dyson sphere work? Yes, 100%. In theory, it works. Is it feasible? Absolutely not. That's why in Star Trek, they used it, because Star Trek at the time was very soft science fiction. They did one episode of it, and I'm just like, whatever. Or no, not Star Trek. It was Orville did it, which honestly has gone so woke, I can't friggin' stomach that show anymore. Now, if you were doing a Dyson ring, now that's different. That's a little bit more feasible. See. Grog says, should be able to get comp tickets to the Blue Man Group and Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller don't do shows anymore, from what I understand. Only 2 shows I haven't had a chance to see yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Penn and Teller stopped. They're up in age. They're really pushing it. I think one of the reasons is Teller. During the show, he does a lot of physical movement. I went and saw part of their show. Unfortunately, I had to leave. Long story, not going to get into it. But he's got to like climb the trap doors. He's got to wiggle around all these different areas. He had to be very, very physical. And I don't think his body can handle it anymore. He was doing bit parts on Big Bang Theory, and he looked a little ragged. It was like all that time was wearing in on him. They did a really good show, though. From what I saw, it was really, really nice. Alan says, what about a regolith in moon dust? Are you talking a megalith? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm going to have to look that up. Regolith. Regolith in moon dust. Are you talking, is that like one of those domed hooches? Yeah, you could do that. Leon says, I'm a fan of the hollow moon theory. There's a lot of people that back that up. They say if the moon was actually solid, the gravitational pull of the planet would have pulled it down by now. I don't know. I don't know the math on that. I never did look into it. Lord Gray is here. Lord. He says, bruh, my live chat on the PC is busted. Apparently not. You're on here. Okay. Tekkaman says, doesn't a Dyson sphere just go around the star? No, a true Dyson sphere goes around the entire solar system. For you to, the reason it doesn't go just around the star is because by the time you encompass it, you've actually created such a pressure wave due to the amount of energy that, because you can't actually extract 100% of it, is going to reflect back in. It would overheat and the star would quite literally explode. That's why you have to build it farther out, so the heat buildup has a chance to, I don't want to say dissipate, but spread out a little more. Then you can actually, believe it or not, it allows you to grab more of it because you have more surface area to work with at that point. The wider the sphere, the more receptors you can actually build, the bigger the area that can absorb. Now, could you with the amount of power you're coming off of a Dyson sphere is just insane. I mean, seriously, it would be like, how do I put this? Turning the entire planet into one giant reactor. That's how much power you're pushing out at that point. What the hell would you need that much power for? Are you trying to pull a share and turn back time? Get Deadpool out there, throwing butter churns at people or whatever. It Again, in theory, a Dyson sphere does work, but for you to grab as much power as the star is putting off at any given time, you need a lot of surface area. It's crazy. Now, unless there's some science that can actually absorb 100% of what's coming off, I've never seen it. I've never heard of anything that can absorb power that fast, because there's so many different types of power coming off the sun at any given time. It's crazy. Okay. Grog says, didn't know about Teller. Damn. Yeah. Just look him up on Big Bang Theory. Next time you have a chance, you got on your phone. And he has like one or two actual speaking parts, but he doesn't say a whole lot. But yeah, just look at the way his body composition is now. And when he was doing his show, he was really thin. I mean, paper thin. See, Demon says, gotta leave for work. Take care, everybody. See you later, you dangerous ship of you. And you ×2 super chatting motherfucker. You crazy dude. Yep, everybody's saying bye. Bye-bye. And you have a good one, man. You have a good one. And we've been going for over 2 hours. Boy, my jaw is killing me. But right now, I just need to drink. Holy crap, I'm thirstier than I thought. Must have been that fried fish. I swear. They forget any type of oil. I think they actually fry it in salt. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm just constantly thirsty. So, anywho's, we're actually running out of chats here. If you guys want to throw anything into the box right now, we can go over that. I sorry to burst you guys' bubble with the Dyson sphere, but again, theoretically possible by all stretch of the imagination. It was just take so much. We could literally disassemble our own planet, disassemble Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the asteroid field, and we wouldn't even get close. We would not have enough materials to do it. Now, if you took a microstar, okay, and there is such a thing where stars that are very, very small, they're still, yellow stars, but they're very, very small. They're only about the size. I'm trying to remember exactly what they said. It's like about the size of Italy, I think. Yeah, about the size of Italy. If you took Italy and spun it around in a complete circle constantly, I mean, they're rather small. If you could find a star that small, a Dyson sphere is 100% feasible, provided you have a way of actually grabbing that much material. And wow, holy crap. Okay, we got another ×2. We got another ×2. Holy shit. In the super chat here, we got Brian Kemp with a $20 super chat. Says, thank you for the stories. You are very welcome. Thank you for your super chat, your patronage, and for, liking the stories, throwing any comments in. I appreciate you every single time, guys. I really, really do. And that's why we are on tonight. And that's why we've been going for so long. I believe this is the longest live stream I've ever done. And I'm going to stay on here as long as you guys are on here. Well, as long as that counter up in the corner, up over here, right? Okay, I'm doing. Sorry, guys, I'm doing this in reverse. I can't see. Right there is keep going. Isaac says, could you make a Dyson sphere around a white dwarf star? Yeah, but you wouldn't get much out of it. Not in comparison. In all honesty, I wouldn't want to, because white dwarfs will eventually collapse in on each other, or on itself, I mean, and become a black hole. And then it sucks things in, recharges, blows up, becomes a star again. A lot of astronomers never want to talk about that because they're like, the original thought was that stars just appear and disappear. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. But just like Tesla said, everything's in cycles. Hello, duh. And there you go. So by the time you get the sphere, if you had a sphere already created and you found a white dwarf, you could just close in on it and you'd be good. Yeah, that would work. Grog says, back to the gunfighter ship. Embryonic fluid protects the babies in high-speed car crashes. Expand it to fill the cockpit. That's actually a good idea, and that is true. The thing is, if you're still going from, or you, let me say this right. If you're in a cockpit, you're strapped in. The situation you're talking about, you would literally be floating free inside this fluid. So how are you controlling the ship? That is the issue. Now, that's actually the idea. If you could somehow cyberjack yourself, that sounds so wrong, by the way. If you can cyberjack yourself off, sorry guys, had to do it, and just run it by thought, and you just had to, your body is just in this fluid, just kind of floating in there. Yeah, that would work 100%, 100,000 million billion percent. That would work. Let's see. Leonid says, how possible is it to use black holes to travel to a parallel universe? Honestly, I haven't got the slightest fucking idea. I really don't. All I know is black holes are usually, they condense things down to, they grab as much whatever is out there in ether, they squeeze it, they squeeze it until it's critical mass, and then it bursts into a star. That's all I understand about those. And the fact that black holes, if they get too close to each other, one will suck the other one. God, that sounds so wrong, guys. Wow. Okay. And I'm not even writing a funny story here. But one will actually absorb the other. I mean, that's just the way it is. Just like here on our spinning ball of dirt covered in water, if you got two storms, they start to spin around each other, and the weaker of the two will end up getting sucked into the first one and become part of it. It's just the way they operate. As far as somehow using the gravity field to create a wormhole or to expand a wormhole, you're talking math that's well beyond my wheelhouse on that one. Yeah, the thing is, the gravity stress on pretty much anything at that point would turn a ship the size of, say, Mercury into the size of a Tic Tac. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't work all that well. Wormhole like Eastwood did in Firefox. God, wow, I totally forgot that movie. I totally did. Yeah, wormholes has absolutely nothing to do with the worm. But yeah, that's literally a rip in space-time. What those are. Yeah, Sir says I'm still here. But yeah, wormholes are very strange, guys. They're a very odd thing to work with. Now, if you're writing a story about the wormholes, you gotta, make it believable. You can't just say we found a wormhole and it worked. You have to have something. Oh, we created a certain shielding. We created a type of armor that deals with such and such. Just like I hate giving the Orville any type of props, but they had a type of energy shield that blocked the excess gravity on one of the planets. Because if they didn't, they would go squish like instantly. So, but yeah, could a wormhole work? Yes. Would a black hole be used to create one? You got to talk to an astronomer on that one. That again, beyond my wheelhouse on that. I've never had to look into it. Let's see. Techaman says, how about a similar cockpit to Evangelion. You know, it's been so long since I watched that show. I'm trying to remember. I know the little what the hell was that? The suppository they screwed in when the pilot was in there had a whole bunch of fluid, but they weren't actually in the cockpit itself was a void space. The capsule had a lot of fluid in it. So I mean, they weren't actually officially inside the fluid. The cockpit itself would be resistant to a lot of things, but they're still feeling a lot of pressure being almost yoinked right out of that chair or thrown back into it or whatever. It's you know, they again, their bodies weren't floating in it. That being said, let's see. Grog says, "I am the king of random." Ha 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 ha. Why not? Lena says, "Probably need to go faster than light to actually create a wormhole." Yes, you have to go so fast you've totally eclipsed light speed and gone straight to plaid. Uh, so yeah, that's yeah, you're talking about speeds well beyond relativistic standards that we would understand. Now, the thing about light speed is not actually the absolute. And this is one of the things that drives me crazy. When you're talking about standard physics, up to a certain point, all those laws of physics work. It doesn't work once you reach a certain level. When you're working with, say, quantum fields, you're broke down to a level where physics becomes I'm trying to remember the technical term. Oh yeah, it's weird. It is just messed up. Your physics, you can forget the laws of physics because there's a reason it's called chaos math. Because 1 + 1 could equal chair. You know, it's weird. It is what it is. That being said, does the math work on a lot of this stuff? Yeah. And the whole thing about you can't go faster than light, again, a lot of people say this because that's the only thing they know. That's what they've been told. Einstein's theory of relativity and all this other stuff. Again, to a certain point, yes. However, the rule that cannot be broken can always be bent. Just ask a lawyer. They bend the rules all the time. Well, actually, they out and out break them, but they are, like I put in many of my stories, the most vile humans on the planet. They're the most dangerous too. And how do I put this? When you exceed certain speeds, which by the way, tachyons move faster than light, everyone knows that. Again, quantum fields is such a deep breakdown on, or down in the size of things, down to such a low level that you end up finding stuff you didn't even know existed, which is what the quantum flux field is all about. Yeah, the math is off. And then we got Alan here saying string theory is probable math. Yeah, it is working with probabilities. The thing is, if you understand your probabilities, you can narrow that down so much. Now, here's the fun thing about string theory. I don't know if you guys ever heard of John Teeter, the supposed time traveler from like 2070 something. Apparently, he came back for like a MacBook or some craziness. Anyway, he was talking about the probability. The farther you go back in time, the higher probability you're going to miss the timeline you're aiming for, because all these timelines are happening at the same time. You're working with probabilities. It's like throwing darts. The farther away from the board you are, the higher probability you're going to miss the target altogether, or you're at least going to miss the bullseye. You know, it is what it is. Excuse me. But yeah, that's exactly where string theory goes on that one. Now, don't get me wrong. Supposedly in 2034, we're going to get our ability to go back in time. I'm going to jump back to 2014 and change one thing, because if I change anything else besides that, then I can't guarantee my nieces and nephews to be around. So I would feel like the biggest asshole. And by the way, if you go back to one of my original stories when I was doing horror stories instead, which I might do one or two later, um, I actually posed that question. Would you be willing to start your life over again with all your knowledge, understanding that if you do, you are going to remove from existence everybody that you knew from then? Would it be worth it? Could you mentally handle it? For most people, no. All right. Let's see. Erica said, what are your thoughts about Stargate, like rings, but at the last planet of the solar system? Okay. As a concept, Stargate kind of works. The way they did it, it's kind of dumb. By the way, the show, I will say the actors did an amazing job. I can't argue with that. I'm sorry, MacGyver, he just delivered those quips. He was so good as those quips and those antics. Woo, you're the smartest guy at the Stargate program. That's like being the smartest guy with Down syndrome. Okay. And sorry, I just had to do it. Anyways, as far as, are you talking about having a Stargate on Neptune, like jumping from here to Neptune? I'm not sure what you're getting at. Or we'd have to go to Neptune to actually use the fucker. But I'm not sure what you're getting at on that one, Erica. You're going to have to clarify exactly what you mean by that. As far as a wormhole using actual gates, that would work, because then you could actually link the two together. You know what they go. More like jump system to system. So basically like what they showed on the actual show, jumping from one to the other. Does it make sense? Theoretically, the amount of power output for something like that is just insane, at least by our understanding with reactors and stuff like that. Again, if you're working with the quantum flux field, it's well within reason. I mean, sir, you don't need much of that to create an insane amount. I mean, seriously, I saw the numbers. My brain still hurts every time I think about it. It's just crazy. Stargate show was our version of Wormhole Extreme. Oh, I remember that episode where they were trying to hide in plain sight. Yeah. Is it possible that we have a Stargate? Well, we've actually, if you follow these so-called conspiracy theorists, and I have to say so-called because a lot of times they're right, they actually figured out the Stargate program was more teleportation than anything else. They also had a separate Stargate program that had to do with out of body travel and God damn, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. There's an actual phrase for it, and I can't wrap my brain around it right now. But yeah, with as far as stuff like that, now the kicker is you can't do that sort of thing slow, any type of teleportation, because it will kill you. The whole idea of like the Star Trek teleportation is actually killing you every time. Officially, it is destroying you and reconstituting you somewhere else. As far as the actual wormhole, you're still there, but the transportation of your molecules at that speed, at that distance, again, would have to be an instantaneous thing, and you'd have to go to a planet with a similar spin. If not, you're going to fall over instantly. Similar breathable atmosphere and everything like that. It's weird how every single planet they go to has the exact spin of Earth, the exact flora and fauna and atmosphere and all this other fun shit. Very rarely did they ever talk about that. Now, when they first showed the way they were doing by sending somebody in a full encompass scuba suit to the next, that's what you would actually have to do. Let's see. Lenin says, like in that video game, Pluto is just a frozen ancient Stargate. Okay. Must be a game I haven't played because I'm just lost on you. Sorry. Let's see. Lenin says Mars 3 million years ago, psychic program, real creepy. Yeah, I saw some about that, and then that's why they will stay away from certain areas because the radiation level in certain areas of Mars is so high it would fry their equipment. I mean, you can't even get the rover on there. It would cook. It would literally cook, catch fire, and burst right there. I mean, it can't really burn too much. Mars's atmosphere is so goddamn thin. But yeah. So anyway, guys, we've been going now for about 2.5 hours. And unfortunately, my eyes are in fact getting heavy because I was up at 4 a.m. this morning. Lucky fucking me. Even though it feels like my back is going to break because I had to help somebody with the weed whacking. And I swear to God, that thing is just too fucking short. That's why I've been kind of moving around so much while I've been talking. But, we're going to go for just a couple more minutes. If you guys got anything else to throw in, by all means, put here in the comment section, in the chat box, and we will get to rolling. And again, we're just going to go for a few more minutes, then we're going to call it a night. But yeah, I will say this when you guys talk about the actual jump systems, okay? And again, we're talking actual teleportation. The reason you wanted to go instantly is because they fucked it up the first time they did it and they went too slow. And that was the USS Eldridge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's when they started. It was a experiment that failed successfully. Okay. They wanted to teleport the ship. They were able to teleport the ship. They had no problems. So they tried to teleport the ship with people on it, forgetting that the mass between the metal of the ship and the people on board is different. If you teleport instantly, the changes in mass are so quick that by the time your body starts to sink down in, the worst you're going to do is peel off the bottom layer of your shoes. Big fucking deal. Who cares? And even then, you might even not even lose anything. It's going to be so quick that it won't, how do I put this? It won't basically turn the metal into soup and then you sink down into it or anything like that, or walk through a wall that you're like, oh, what is this? Shouldn't there be a wall here? And you're actually in the middle of it. And all of a sudden you come back out and joink, it freaking puts all the molecules back solid again. If it's instant, like it's supposed to be, you won't have that problem. By the time you realize what the hell's going on, it's over. So, yeah. Yeah. Alan says, in grunt time, 0400 is normal. You are not lying. I used to wake up at 0400 every day to go to the gym before PT, do PT, and then I go to work. That was in some of my seriously heavy workout days. And unfortunately, I overdid it and I blew the shoulder apart. And I got the orthoscopic scars up here to prove it. Not a fun time because it kept me out of the gym for 2 years. Okay. Grog says, humans find a Fallout style world, all radiated and shit. Okay. I'll put that down. Fallout style. Okay. I'll have to figure out whether it's going to be we blew it up or somebody else. Because if we blew it up, it's going to be a full Charlton Heston. You blew it up. Ah, you maniacs. Let's see. Grog saying 9 p.m. and I've been awake 30-ish hours. I've been there. I've done that. Remember I told you about they did the 4 days of fun? When I got back to my barracks room, I was lucky enough to actually get there on my feet. I took a quick, like, maybe 5-minute shower. I threw all my stuff in my barracks bag. I still remember chucking that son of a bitch across the room. But as I'm walking towards my room, my legs just give out as I'm walking. I honestly thought I was dying because I couldn't get my legs to work. I crawled in as far as I could, knocked the door shut. I got all the way to the beanbag chair. That's as far as I got. And I reached up, grabbed the blanket on the bed, pulled, and that's the last I remember. And I wake up and I'm like, oh, what time is it? Man, I feel great. I looked, oh, it's noon. I've only been asleep 3 hours. Oh, man, I feel awesome. This is great. All I needed was quick sleep. Then I looked at the date. I had slept for 27 hours straight. Just out. Not so fun. Erica said, time to go to bed, Vaughn. You need sleep. We all need sleep, unfortunately. Sir saying, good night, Mr. Syntax. Mr. I did not spend 20 years in the military to be called Mr. No, I'm kidding. You're good either way you go. Lenin said, the game is Mass Effect. I'll watch for your stream next week, probably. Okay, cool. Grog says, poker game starts at 11. We play until 3 a.m. Dude. Dude. You win. I just gotta say, you win, dude. Holy shit. I've been around going like crazy today, so I hate to say it, but I'm reaching my limit here. Grog said, it's not abuse if you like it. Well, I hate to say it, but my dad told me I'd be paying for all the stuff I did when I was young later, and he was right. He was absolutely right on that. See, Alan said, was an older time E6 infantry. Okay. Yeah. Well, this E6 is going to have to pass out soon. So anyway, we still have a bunch of folks in. Guys, I would still go if I could, but we actually trying to burn time because a bunch of folks left the chat and not a whole bunch is coming in. So safety brief, don't drink and drive. If you drink, you don't drive. You drive, you don't drink, folks. It ain't worth it. Trust me, I don't want to see any of you guys end up like one of the guys I went to college with. He is permanently affixed to that wheelchair. It ain't fucking worth it. So, use the GPS for drunk people called Uber if you need it. If you don't forget, your little soldier's going into the bush. Make sure he wears his poncho. Very important. Also, if you can, just dissuade anybody from fighting. Don't pick a fight, and definitely don't go to the ground because that's where you end up getting stomped out. Believe me, guys, it is not fun. Thought I broke a couple of ribs. Not so fun on that one. And plus, you're gonna get your ass kicked so bad you're gonna break it. Oh, wait, it's already broke. It's got a crack in it. Hint, hint. I know. I'll be careful with that joke. It's an antique. So I will see you all next week at same bat time, same bat channel. I very much appreciate from the bottom of my heart. I truly do. Thank you all for all the super chats, for everybody being here. For like 2.5 hours we've been going, and don't call me for bail money. Grok said was the last thing I'd saved from the safety brief. Well, if I'm around and you need a ride, I'd always give you a ride, but I'm all the way over here. So it is what it is, and I will see all you on the next live stream here on Syntax Live. Right now, this is Syntax ejecting.